Welcome to my review of Wicked. Do all villains deserve redemption? According to franchises like Joker and Wicked, apparently villains are entitled to a shot at showing the audience they're not as bad as they seem, or that there is an underlying reason why they are culprits of so many evil doings. I had promised myself and told my daughter I probably was not going to watch Wicked. The main reasons why I watched it or because my cable was out, the book I wanted to read this weekend did not arrive at the library, my daughter was out with a friend, and my husband had been busy preparing for work related activities. For the reasons mentioned above, I decided to review the movie. Most of my YouTube videos are either personal takes of the life of a POC in Norway, family videos, or educational videos for my students on days I teach from home. Contrary to what the scammers that populate my spam box in my email and my filtered requests on Facebook and Instagram, I am not trying to be like a famous, successful, and rich YouTuber with hundreds of thousands of subscribers. I would, however, not say it would not be fantastic to have extra income doing something from home while having fun. Nevertheless, I started my channel as a means to show my family in Brazil, New Zealand, and the USA, and my friends in Australia how my life in Norway was going. Yeah, that's where I live. I live in Norway. I'm not from Norway though, and don't even get me started. Oh, okay, I could hear in your accent that you're from Norway. This is not a Norwegian accent at all. But I digress. So wicked. What to expect, right? So I know everyone's talking about the poster, everyone's talking about Ariana Grande and all of that. I did not plan on ever talking about this. My very first video on here, on this channel, is a video of my daughter as a baby in 2006, just like a couple of weeks after she was born. Therefore, my decision to review Wicked and make a video for the first time focused on everyone and anyone instead of just those viewers looking for a specific topic and theme, it had nothing to do with becoming a famous YouTuber. But I think I said that already. So, Wicked, what to expect? Wicked surprised me in many ways. Perhaps my biggest surprise was that I enjoyed the movie. Yeah, I did. I did not expect to like it at all. I actually thought I was gonna hate it. I kept hearing all these horrible things about the movie. And I don't know if I'm the only one that saw all those interviews of Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo, and they're crying. And some people are like, why are they crying? Isn't this just a movie about the Wizard of Oz? What's up with that? So I did not expect to like it at all. But I wrote a review, and I'm going to tell you what I thought and how I perceived it. Wicked. I enjoy the movie. Having watched The Wizard of Oz with Judy Garland and The Wiz staring at the screen and expecting to see something like that, I was expecting to see like a plain old sequel, right? You see all the characters from the movie that you originally watched. It was nothing like that. I have also watched The Wiz, starring Michael Jackson and Diana Ross. I had been curious to watch Wicked because it has been described on TikTok and many YouTube videos as a sequel to The Wizard of Oz. It's more like a prequel, actually. Making a sequel to an iconic movie such as The Wizard of Oz could either go incredibly well or it could bomb to the ground and disappoint moviegoers everywhere on the planet. A myriad of negative articles and videos have been made over the past few weeks about the press junkets and interviews with Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo. These interactions between the stars of Wicked And reporters around the world during their press tour have been described as cringeworthy. I'm not saying it. People were saying it all over the internet. They have been described as cringeworthy and ridiculous. I'm inclined to believe this created a sensation in me that made me not want to watch the movie, coupled with the scandals involving Ariana Grande's love life and her newly obtained label of homewrecker. I had a few reasons not to want to see whatever they had put together for Wicked. The Daily Mail mocked the actresses for getting overly emotional and crying during their interview. TikTokers have asked, why are they crying? Isn't this just a movie about the Wizard of Oz? On the other hand, many so-called theater kids claim that only those of us who took drama in high school and were die-hard fans of The Wizard and its characters would get their emotional outbursts. Well, I mean, I took drama in high school. I did not get why they're getting so emotional. This afternoon, I decided to blow straight past all of the above, and I went to Nova Center in Trondheim to watch this movie. Trondheim is the third biggest city in Norway, if you didn't know. So I went to watch it. I was expecting something completely different, but I got served with something I wasn't expecting. I just sat and waited. I went alone and sat in the front, which is both the biggest no-nos in the history of humanity, and also it is probably not very normal to sit alone and watch a movie. But I already explained why I was alone. From the start, from the very start, from my front seat, I watched as the famous flying monkeys from The Wizard of Oz flew across the beautiful skies of that fantasy land. This was an immediate reference to the original movie. We also see the yellow brick road and our four heroes walking through it. Those of you who have watched the original film will definitely pick up on every single reference that is made on Wicked. The Tin Man, the Cowardly Lion, Dorothy, and the Scarecrow can be seen from above. They can be seen from above and from a distance, like from an angle you can't really 100% see who played them in this movie or if they were created with CGI. At this specific moment, I was all in and fully committed to the story. People who like to watch every video and read every article before watching an actual movie do not mind spoilers, so go ahead and stay if you're one of those people. Those of you who want to watch movies without being affected by outside influences, just click away while you can. Yeah, because I'm going to be spoiling it for you. Wicked tells the story of a girl who grew up being bullied as a victim of colorism and discrimination. Colorism here is not the one we're used to facing in real life, which refers to people of color and white people, ranking black people as more beautiful the lighter their skin is. In this story, the color of Elphaba's skin is the target of the ridicule and mistreatment. These negative attitudes towards her skin color started when she came into this world and her father rejected her. The audience will feel a sort of empathy for this version of the Wicked Witch. In The Wizard of Oz, she's just evil. There was a time in literature and film when there were clear lines between good and evil. A character used to be either good or evil. Audiences would go to the theater and readers would open books to find a character to hate and a character to love. It used to be as transparent as night and day, very transparent, like it's either good or bad. Not anymore. Despite the presence of the concepts of good and evil, movies and books nowadays carry a myriad of layers of sentiment attributed to each character. We as viewers and readers are allowed to love the villain and laugh with them in the same way we have full permission to hate them a half hour later when we're done laughing out loud. Writers, playwrights, and directors have broadened their horizons in terms of humanizing characters and giving them enough integrity so that we can go along for the ride as they grow as they reach rock bottom, wherever they are in the movie, it's almost like it is okay to like the villain. As a little girl, I was heavily discriminated against because I was the only black girl everywhere I went. I know, you're going to be like, oh, you don't sound black. Let's not even get started with that. Growing up in an upper middle class neighborhood with educated, well off parents, I was an anomaly in the society in which I lived. An anomaly in the society in which I lived. I know that's kind of dramatic, but that's exactly how it was. I could not help but empathize with Elphaba's suffering. Throughout Wicked, Elphaba is portrayed as fundamentally sound. She's a good person from the inside. It's kind of weird because you don't expect her to be good. There are no traces of evil in her. There are no traces of the evil witch that we encounter in The Wizard of Oz. There's more to this movie, though. It is a musical, so the group dance numbers often move musicals, and Elphaba's portrayer is indeed incredibly talented. Powerful voices invaded my ears during the entire movie. Ariana Grande was superb in her comedic scenes, too. I mean, I was not surprised by her outstanding vocal performances, but I was amazed by her comical vein. Just as in The Wizard of Oz, moviegoers will not starve for catchy songs and musically driven scenes. Every detail in these dance numbers was choreographed to perfection. Another aspect of the movie that was extraordinarily well executed was costume design. Instead of identically sewn uniforms for the students at Shiz University, each uniform had different details. Some of the boys wore skirts, others wore shorts. A combination of shorts and skirts was also seen on a few of the boys and other students. So children will definitely enjoy the dance numbers in Wicked, and adults will enjoy them. They're not just delightful songs, but the color schemes are also very beautiful, amazingly put together backgrounds. Superb from beginning to end. Just absolutely amazing. Whether some of them were made with the help of CGI or built by carpenters, the final edit is marvelous. I mean, the backgrounds, some of them, they look like they were made, but some of them kind of look like they were CGI generated. I can't be sure nowadays. The real villains of Wicked, in my opinion, are Madame Marble and the Wizard. I felt frustrated and angry at those two. However, I never felt any ill will towards Elphaba. In A Twist of Fate, I was more inclined not to like Glinda's biggest, she's like the biggest fairy, let's put it this way, but I was more inclined not to like her. Ariana Grande's Glinda has a bit of a mean streak, and she's not easy to love in some parts of Wicked. I was more invested in Cynthia Erivo's character because she was so relatable from beginning to end. I mean, in 2024, it is not uncommon for a character that everyone is used to seeing played by a white actor to be substituted by an actor of a different ethnicity in projects that for decades have been portrayed by the usual suspects. Thus, having a black actress in the role of Elphaba was probably a fitting choice for our times. In addition to that, the character's skin in the novel is green, so it would not really matter what color was underneath it. I kept looking for the Wicked Witch from The Wizard of Oz in Cynthia. She was nowhere to be found. As far as the wizard himself, seeing Jeff Goldblum in that role was a pleasant surprise. I tried not I tried not to look too deeply into articles and information about the movie itself before I went. Therefore, I did not know that he was in this movie. I kind of clapped and went, "Yay!" when I saw him on the screen. Jeff Goldblum is a veteran. He's known for The Fly, Jurassic Park, and many other big projects. I clapped and I'm like, yay! When he appeared on screen, it was fantastic. Well, I'm 23.7% sure that many people at the theater thought I was a lunatic, but I had a fantastic time. Loved the movie. I definitely recommend it. This was perhaps what surprised me the most. Watch Wicked. It is really good.